John pulled out the chair and sat across from Anna at the small wooden table.
He dropped the heavy menu onto the tablecloth with a dull thud and let out a sharp sigh. Anna did not look up.
She kept her eyes on the page and tapped her fingers rhythmically against the glass of water. She pointed to the top section of the menu, her nail scraping the paper.
John shook his head, a quick, dismissive gesture, and slid his menu toward the center of the table. He tapped a picture of a thick, seared steak. Anna frowned, her eyebrows knitting together,
and pointed firmly to the vegetable salad on the opposite page.
She shoved the menu back toward John, the paper sliding over the wood with a raspy sound. John leaned forward,
elbows pressing into the table, and looked past her toward the kitchen area. He tracked the movement of the waiter walking toward them. Anna quickly closed her menu, the edges clicking together, and raised a hand to signal the staff. The waiter stopped beside them, pen hovering over a notepad, waiting for the order to break the heavy silence between them. The waiter held the notepad open, the tip of his pen resting on the paper. John did not hesitate.
He jabbed a finger at the center of the menu and said, "I will take the ribeye, medium rare."
The waiter scribbled the order down, his expression unchanging. Anna shifted in her seat. She looked at the waiter, her gaze steady, and said, "I want the garden salad with extra dressing on the side." The waiter noted the modification, nodded once, and turned toward the kitchen. John watched the waiter walk away until he disappeared behind the service door. Then he looked back at Anna. The silence at the table thickened. John leaned back, his chair creaking against the floorboards, and tapped his fork against the edge of the table. He did not speak. Anna kept her arms folded tightly, looking past his shoulder at the crowded room. She did not offer a reason for her choice. John continued the rhythmic tapping, the metal hitting the table with a sharp, repetitive sound that cut through the background chatter of the restaurant. They sat, two people at a small wooden table, waiting for the food to arrive, while the space between them remained entirely unaddressed. 10 minutes of silence passed before the waiter returned, placing a heavy plate of steak in front of John. The smell of seared meat filled the small space. He set a bowl of crisp salad in front of Anna. John picked up his knife, the blade scraping against the ceramic, and cut into the thick meat. He looked at the small bowl of leaves, then back at his own plate. Anna stirred her fork through the greens, picking up a single piece of cucumber. She chewed slowly, her movements deliberate and guarded. John finished a large bite, wiped his mouth with a napkin, and pointed his fork directly at her bowl. He leaned in,
his shadow falling over her plate. "That looks very small," he said. The restaurant noise seemed to fade around them.
Anna did not look up from her greens. She shrugged, took a long sip of her water, and set the glass down with a soft click. "It is exactly what I needed," she replied. She did not offer him a bite, nor did she explain her choice. John looked away toward the crowded room, his jaw tight, while the gap between them remained wide and unspoken. John chewed the last of his meat and set his knife down with a deliberate clatter. He looked around the room, watching other diners share plates of dessert. He turned his attention back to Anna, who was folding her napkin. "Do you want to order something sweet?" he asked, his voice steady. Anna looked up, her expression neutral. She set her fork down on the edge of the bowl and gave a small, non-committal smile. "Let us see if we have room after this," she said. John did not wait for further input. He signaled the waiter with a sharp wave of his hand. When the waiter approached, John asked for the check. He pulled his leather wallet from his pocket and laid it flat on the wooden table. Anna reached toward her purse on the floor, but John placed his hand over the bill, effectively blocking her move. He looked at her and said, "I have it covered today." His tone left no room for negotiation. He did not remove his hand until the waiter returned to process the payment. Anna pulled her hand back, leaving her purse untouched on the chair. She looked at the check, then at John, and slowly stood up from the table. John stood up and pushed his chair under the table. The wood scraped harshly against the floor. a sound that cut through the low hum of the restaurant. He waited for Anna to move, his hands hanging loosely at his sides. Anna stepped back, her purse still resting on the seat of the chair. She did not reach for it immediately. Instead, she looked at the table, then at the crowded room, as if trying to find a reason to stay. John moved toward the aisle, clearing a path for her. He did not look at her, but his posture was rigid, expectant. She finally picked up her purse and turned away from the table. They began to walk, maintaining a distance of 2 feet between them. The waiter passed by, but neither acknowledged him. They reached the doorway, the cool air from outside filtering in to meet the warmth of the kitchen. John held the door open. Anna stepped through first, stepping into the dim light of the street. John followed, the door swinging shut behind them with a heavy, final thud. Outside, the city noise swallowed their silence. They stood on the sidewalk for a heartbeat, then turned together and walked away into the dark.